welcome to the Untold Civil War. And today we've got another episode of Untold Civil War Curiosities. Now, before we get to it, I gotta mention our sponsors here that are represented. 1863 Designs. You love this shirt? Earth, Wind, and Fire, our own Civil War nerd take on it. And of course, what are we going to talk about? It's Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's a band, right? So we've got the whole campaign, all the dates, all his concerts right on the back of the shirt. Beautiful band shirt for those who love Civil War. What have I got behind me? Civil War Trails maps. If you love these maps up here, they are going to lead you to all those untold Civil War stories that are on the trail. So check out Civil War Trails. And of course, good friend of the show, the badge maker. He was the one who made this beautiful insignia that I wear on my cap for Untold Civil War, my kepi here. So big shout out to all our sponsors. Thank you for sponsoring the show. And thank you to my patrons on Patreon for supporting the show. But hey, let's get into it. All right. So what we're going to be talking about here is a Civil War face mystery. We're talking about something that has come across the table here that I'm not sure if I figured it out. I don't have answers, and I'm hoping that someone on this YouTube video, when they're watching this, are going to be able to comment in the comments below, or at least send me an email and give me their thoughts. Please help me solve this Untold Civil War Faces mystery. So let's open up here first with some really great images to get us warmed up so we love what we're talking about here. I'm holding up a CDV here that caught my eye the other day. Absolutely fantastic image. Here we have a Civil War musician, right? You don't get this all the time. And he's holding his fife, right? And he's got all his accoutrements. He's got his knapsack on his back as well. And I mean, he's posing. You could almost see him playing the fife. You can almost hear it, right? It's just so really cool to have an image like this where he's posed with his instrument. You know, like I say, you've got the infantryman who poses with a rifle, the cavalryman his saber, and it's always great to get the musician with his instrument, right? His tool of war. Musicians were always there to help spirits during long hours in camp, during long campaigns, and of course they help keep step during the march, right? So musicians during the Civil War are very important. Couple images that also touched me that came through the shop today is this beautiful image. It's not the greatest condition, but here you have, I'm not sure, it is a family. It could be father, son, and grandson. Maybe it's three brothers. I'm not sure, but it is just a beautiful image of three men, a young boy, right? Several generations, okay? It's a family image. I like to think of it as a Father's Day image. But here you have the soldier there posed with his rifle, with maybe his son or kid brother, and of course the other gentleman there in civilian attire. It would really shine in any collection, but I do love this image here as a Father's Day sort of tribute. During the Civil War, there weren't just the Union blue and Confederate gray. There were many uniforms during the Civil War. We often talk about Zouaves on this channel, right? That French-inspired uniform. But they weren't alone. There were also the Cameron Highlanders, right? The Highlanders, the Highland Guard, the unit that I collect, right? That wore kilts early in the war. There were also other units such as Russia's Lancers that were inspired by the Lancers of European armies, right? So there were several uniforms that the U.S. government, the Confederate government, adopted because they were inspired by that martial flair. But probably the most strange uniform, the uniform that was probably the most confused, if you will, is that of the 83rd Pennsylvania. And I have an image that is most likely, a member of the 83rd Pennsylvania. And when we talk about this image, I mean, it is a confused uniform, very martial, but he's got a hat or a cap that represents much like the Glengarries of Scottish units. He's got epaulets of a general. He's got a coat and zouave-style pantaloons, right? So it's pretty much picking up on every piece of martial flair of several different very martial uniforms. I think, the only thing he's missing is probably a Sikh turban, right? I mean, he's got everything going for him. So, very interesting uniform, very unique to the Civil War, almost seemingly a bastardization of multiple different uniforms and military culture here. So if you know anything about the 83rd Pennsylvania or have any more information about this uniform, please reach out and let us know. Fantastic image here. Glad to have it in my collection. Now, as we're talking about fancy uniforms, check this out. Here we got a fantastic image of a zouave in the 5th New York. Durier's Zouaves, a famous unit. It's a little dark, right? But you have some tinting on there. You see the red very clearly that's been painted on there by an expert colorist. They served in multiple famous engagements during the Civil War. Just to name a few, we're looking at the Battle of Gaines' Mill, Malvern Hill, the Battle of Second Bull Run, Antietam, Fredericksburg, Chancellorsville. They were there. Fantastic outfit that was not only colorful, but definitely earned a solid reputation during the war on some of the most famous battlefields, commanded by a commander who would eventually command the New York City Police Department and lead them through baton charges. He went from bayonet charges to baton charges. What an interesting character. And let's move on finally to the last two images here, and this is what I am talking about. I'm talking about a call out to all Civil War face experts, Civil War uniform experts. Help me solve these mysteries. I've got two images here that are an absolute Civil War, Untold Civil War mystery. Let's open up with this one. This image, I believe, from my collection, it is extremely dark. It's not in the best condition, but it is a fantastic image. This might be, I'm still doing research on it, a member of Company K of the Fighting 69th New York. Company K was raised by then Captain Marr. Marr is famous because he had a lot to do with the presentation, the design of the Irish flag. When he designed it, it had the green for the Catholics of Ireland, the orange for the Protestants, and white in between to show the peace and unity of the two groups. He was a revolutionary in Ireland that would be banished to Tasmania, escape to New York City, and become a commander of this Zouave outfit that would be part of the famous Fighting 69th New York. Now, he went on to command the Irish Brigade and become a governor of Montana, and would disappear, pass away. Some said he fell overboard on a riverboat trip. Body never was recovered. I was there and had the opportunity to attend the ceremony where they built a memorial to him in the cemetery right next to, I believe, his his wife's remains. That was a big part in my career when I was serving in the Fighting 69th New York, and to be part of that ceremony was just humbling. But here you have an image of what looks like a member of Company K. I think he's holding a pipe in his hand. Unfortunately, the image is very dark. The only other clues besides the uniform, as you can see, that we have is that the image came with this medal that says Veteran of the Fighting 69th. It's got the wolfhounds on it, the Irish wolfhounds. So I like to think that maybe he is a member of Company K. You look at the image, tell me what you think. I mean, this is a Civil War mystery to me. Maybe it's not a pipe. It also looks like it could be maybe a revolver or a small pocket pistol. I'm not sure in his hand. But it is a great image, and I would like to know more. And I'm asking you all, as fans of the show, to help me out. Now, for the last mystery of the day, we've got this image that I purchased. And it was advertised originally as a Confederate Native American. He's Confederate image with Native American braids in his hair and a revolver. Check this out. What a fantastic image. Now, hopefully you caught that there. But now, as I look at this image more closely, I'm drawn. That coat, even though it is light colored, to me it might actually be a regulation federal coat. But that doesn't mean Confederates didn't capture those sort of coats. And what looks like braids that come off his hair, Native American braids, maybe that is a scarf around his neck that was made by mom or a loved one and sent to him. Maybe those aren't exactly braids in his hair, those Native American braids. I'm not sure. I would like to know what you think. Is this a Confederate Native American with braids in his hair? Is this a Yankee soldier wearing a Yankee greatcoat, regulation greatcoat, with a scarf around his neck from home? I would like to know what you think. Please comment below. Reach out to me. Let me know what you think. Let's solve this mystery together. This is the Untold Civil War. Untold no longer. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you tune in next time for our next episode. Bye for now.